Apologies for that short delay, guys, but hello, good evening and welcome to the opening race for round number 2 of the League Racing Nations Championship. We're here with those who have advanced from Group A and B into the second round. Essentially, this is the semi-finals, and we are here for what should be a fantastic race around Hockenheim, the German GP, and just so happens that we also have the German team here with us. So let me just give you a quick rundown of those who have advanced and those who are looking in good stead to continue their fine form. So from Group A, who have made it through, we have the Netherlands, Lithuania and France's second team. And then in Group B, we have Germany's first team looking to do well here at their home circuit, and we also have Scotland's first team. Just give you a quick rundown of what cars they will be in. So the Germany team is consisting of the Mercedes and Ferrari cars. The Netherlands are consisting of the Red Bull and McLaren cars. Lithuania are consisting of the Renault and Toro Rosso cars. France's second team are consisting of the Racing Point and the Alfa Romeo, and then we got the Scottish team then consisting of the Haas and Williams. We are missing just a few people tonight, one of which comes from Scotland, one coming from the French team, and one coming from the German team. So those three teams already down one man coming into this race, and it could be very important. But we're going to turn our attention now to the times set by everyone so far, as I just ran through all that for you guys. At the moment, Rafa, the German, is currently sitting on pole position with 11.8 on the hard compound tyres, just ahead of his fellow German compatriot Vasta Racer. I mean, I'm sorry guys, I'm going to end up butchering some of these names. I do apologize for it. I just say it how I how I read it. But Vasta in second, and we got Thomas in third, with Fruitful in fourth, Jonathan Klaus, I believe that is how you pronounce it, Klaus, I'm not sure, but Jonathan in fifth, and we got Sparks in sixth, T1000 Zach in seventh, just as if that is how you pronounce it, I might be wrong, but he is currently in eighth, as I just saw an improved time there from T1000 Zach that jumped him up the order just a little bit. And we have Cohen in 9th, Campbell in 10th, Onyx in 11th, Max in 12th, I'm going to say Riker. As I said guys, I am probably going to butcher a couple of these names, but yeah, Riker at the moment, the last of the guys who have set a lap time, so he is the last one with a time on the board. Then we got KJ, Ash Best, Mr. Skyzy and Forbes, who have yet to set a time, but we're on board with Cohen, who just comes into the pits. Have we got anyone on a flying lap? We have a Ferrari and a Alpha coming into the penultimate corner right now. The Alpha coming into the pits. So we'll stay on board with the Scotsman, the man in the Haas, and he did improve on his time by just under 2/10, so a good lap there from Campbell. I'm not sure if he's going to continue for another flying lap, so we'll go on board with the man in the Ferrari, the German, who is 0.02 of a second off his personal best time at this moment. Just gonna turn my attention to the chat a sec, and we're just going to see who is rooting for who in this second round here. So, predictions. Who are you guys backing? As Thomas has actually popped it on provisional pole of a 11.8, and that is a fantastic time there from the man in the Renault. As I'm just going through as. Yeah, I mean, let's go. We're gonna get some people laughing at the way I pronounce names, but you know, it's part of the enjoyment. It's part of the entertainment. As we have Vasta Racer now coming through the final sequence of corners into the penultimate corner and keeping it nice and tight, running just a little bit wide at the end, but he does improve on his time and is 11.7, so the Germans showing very, very well here at their home track. As we have a little bit of traffic for Just As. He's coming on the final corner right now. What's he gonna be? Looks like a 12.2, which is an improvement. I believe it does jump him up in the 9th. I wasn't quite paying attention. I was looking at the times, but yeah, good lap there from Just As. And strategy around here should be the simple one stop the mediums to the hard compound tyre. We got you have a Red Bull of Fruitful coming to the line, and he is just starting his lap. So next one across the line will be a Mercedes, but Vasta coming into the pits, and Rafa looks like he's just gearing up for a lap. We have a Toro Rosso of Ash who's giving up for a lap, and he's just ahead of Cohen, who is actually on a lap. So, oh no, he ducks out and comes into the pits. Sparks also into the pits, and looks like the next lap will be set by, I believe it'll be Fruitful, so we'll go on board, but he hasn't validated his lap, so he'll probably duck out and come into the pits. Rafa 1/10 up on his time. He's doing exactly what he needs to right now to gain that provisional pole position before everyone chucks on a set of the medium compound tyres and absolutely gun it. And he's up, still up by a 10, so he's managed to hold it. Purple sector 2 as he comes into the final sector. I'm through the penultimate corner right now, making sure he doesn't run too far wide. Into the final corner, keeping it nice and smooth. Until the line he'll come, and it is a 11.7, which is good enough for provisional pole by 0.07 of a second. And his German teammate Jonathan is going to be ducking into the pits. Yeah, I figured he would be. But we also have the first and the medium runners. I believe Mr. Skyzy would be the first one, so we'll go on board with Skyzy for this entire lap. Gets a nice run there through turn 1. Very easy to invalidate your lap time there. So he's looking for a nice exit now to launch himself onto this DRS straight. And I'm expecting the hairpin to be quite the busy area of this track here today. Very easy to make a little bit of a move. As we're coming up to the second sector split, so how is it going? And he is 7 tenths up as he comes into the final sector, so this could be a pretty decent lap here from Skyzy. As we got support for the Netherlands team in the chat, and we've got questions being asked. Can the German team take that pole at their home Grand Prix? Could very well happen, but Skyzy does put it into third place as we have T1000 Zach putting it on provisional pole. We're getting times coming in quick and fast right now as we are on board with Max. He comes through the penultimate corner. Gets a little bit on the curve there. That would have just scrubbed off just a little bit of time, but he does pop it up into 6th place. Now we have the Williams of Sparks to the line on the ragged edge, and he goes 200ths of a second quicker than T1000, and that is very, very tight at the top as we got the Haas of Campbell popping it into third, and then immediately beaten by Onyx as we are trying to get on board with the people who are about to cross the line. As I believe it's going to be Cohen next to cross the line, as here he comes to the line right now, and he pops up into 6th place. Now we have some Renaults coming across the line, and I think Just As is about to start his lap now. We got yellow flags in sector 3, and that is the Toro Rosso getting out of the way of the Renault of Just As and Cohen. So the Racing Point now coming to the line, and he's about to gear up for a lap, so we jumped on board with him at the wrong time. But here comes Jonathan to the line, and he pops it up into third with a 11.4, and he does have enough time to try and save a bit of ERS as his German teammate Vasta Racer just goes ahead of him. And look at how close it is between the top 4 right now, all 4, as KJ out of nowhere just absolutely obliterates that time there by 4 tenths of a second. We got the Renault coming to the line, and it's Just As he does improve again up into 7th, and then his teammate Thomas gets up into 2nd. Good lap there, and now we got the Red Bull of, I believe, Fruitful, who is just starting the line. We got times coming in quick and fast as Onyx is out of the session, as we got cars getting out of the way, trying to make sure that they don't impede the guys on a flying lap. Rafa gets up into 3rd with the identical time with Thomas, an absolutely pitch perfect identical time here between these two guys. As we got Sparks now coming to the line. Can he improve? He was marginally up in sector 2, and he does improve, but not enough to move up any positions. What about Campbell? Campbell does improve and does jump up ahead of Onyx here. Who else have we got coming to the line? Just As has backed off. Fruitful is still going for it, so we'll stay on board with the Red Bull. So he comes around the final corner. Is this going to be an improvement for him? Yes, it is. It gets him up into the top 10. Now we look at the Toro Rosso behind, and that is Ash best, who does improve his time, but doesn't make it into the top 10. And a very late move there to come into the pits, and that would have just been a little bit off-putting for Forbes, as he gets his way up into 4th place, and I believe that is the qualifying session over and done with. So KJ, the man on pole position, and looking at these times, I mean, look at that. The entire grid, apart from Riker, separated by less than 0.8 of a second. Now that is incredibly close. I mean, you look at 12th to 1st, just over half a second between them. That is what you call very tight indeed. So the man on pole is KJ, representing the Netherlands, and then we have the Lithuanian man in 2nd place, as we'll go through the order right now. So KJ on pole, Netherlands doing well there, Lithuania being represented well in 2nd by Thomas Raffa, the first of the Germans in 3rd. Then we got a double Scotland, 4th and 5th there for Forbes and Sparks. Then we got the French representative of T1000, Zach, in 6th, Vasta and Jonathan Klaus in 7th and 8th, Fruitful in 9th. Then rounded up the top 10 we have Campbell. Then we got Onyx, Just As, Ashbest, Cohen, Mr. Skyzy, Max and Riker, all outside of the top 10 with free choice of tyre compound. And we shall see what tyres they go on to. And we'll see, actually. I mean, we'll see if everyone can keep it clean. Obviously, when the grids are a lot closer together, sometimes get 1 or 2 incidents into turn 1. We hope that doesn't happen, but it's just a fact of racing. But hopefully everyone keeps it clean and don't pick up any penalties into turn 1, as we want to see these guys going absolutely tooth and nail for the first. Well, we want to see an absolute cracking battle from start to finish, but let's wait and see. Can the Germans do well here at their home Grand Prix? Can the Dutchies, the Netherlands, go ahead and take victory here? Can Lithuania shock us all? Can Scotland shock us all? Time will tell, but they are on their formation lap now, so we'll see the tyre selection outside of the top 10. So Onyx going for the hard compound tyres. Then we got T1000 Zach on the medium compound. Then everyone else apart from Riker all the way at the back has opted for the hard compound tyres. So bit of a split decision outside the top 10 on what tyre to go on to, and it does look like actually that they may have been did Onyx set his time on the hards, or just gonna pull up the stream a second just to see. To see where I was outside the top 10. Also, from the looks of it, T1000 Zach actually got a 5th place grid penalty. So that's why he is all the way down in 11th right now. So Zach actually has no choice but to start in the mediums, but everyone else apart from Riker has opted for the hard compound tyres. So that 5th place grid drop, oof, that is going to be an interesting one, as they are coming around the final corner to form up on the grid to get the first race of round 2 underway. So here we go, all lined up on the grid as we get ready to go to those 5 red lights. Lights are out and we are underway, and T1000 Zach gets a drive-through penalty for jumping the start as we got Onyx straight up into 5th place. A bit of carbon fibre flying off one of the cars there in turn 1, but Onyx with a fantastic start there as he's going down the inside of Forbes for 4th place as we got Zach going off in the background. Into the wall goes Zach. And that is his race going from bad to worse because he has to serve that drive-through penalty, and effectively now he is out of this race as we got a little bit of ghosting going on there with Forbes and Rafa as we got Onyx and Forbes side by side through that right hander as we come down through the left hander underneath the stadium, and T1000 Zach retiring from the session. Onyx getting a very poor run there as there is a pumpkin on his head. I've just noticed that. He does have a pumpkin for a helmet. But it appears that we've had a pretty clean start, all things considered, but cars going a little bit hectic there as Vestarisa gets past Sparks into turn 1, picks up a 3-second time penalty in the process. In fact, they're side by side on the run into turn 2. Can the Williams fight it down the inside? Oh, very close race in there between these two. Meanwhile, we're going to go up a little bit towards the front. Renault not quite close enough, but Forbes having a little look down the inside of Rafa at the hairpin. It's going to compromise his exit just a little bit, but as you can see, there's a little bit of ghosting going on there as Onyx and Vesta Racer side by side. Oh, as we got the Williams, a little bit of contact there with Ash Best, and he's in the wall. Oh, Sparks, a little bit of contact there with Ash Best, and that is Sparks into the wall. Heartbreaking for the man in the Williams. I'm trying to figure out who has that wing damage. I think it might be Rafa. I think Rafa, yeah, Rafa does have that wing damage. So Rafa was the bit of carbon fibre as Onyx gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, as he has opted for a very early pit stop. Sparks, no surprise in him opting for the pit stop, but Rafa and Forbes, a little bit of lag going on there. But Forbes able to get past as we got a move for the lead into the hairpin. Down the inside goes Thomas, and can KJ do anything about it? No, he can't. Meanwhile, Rafa and Fruitful were side by side as Forbes manages to get past Rafa and up into 3rd place. Now this is where we're going to see some German tactics coming on here, because Rafa with that front wing damage is going to want to help out Jonathan and Vasta behind. So he would do well to really hold up the Red Bull of Fruitful here. They come through the final corner as Thomas setting the fastest lap, and you can see already just how big of a gap Forbes has managed to build in our final sector alone. Rafa still sticking ahead of Fruitful, but this is where he's going to be vulnerable. Although he has managed to get DRS, but it looks like he might actually have a failure. His DRS is not open. Is that a DRS failure for Rafa? I'm not sure, but McLaren getting back through there, and Fruitful trying it around the outside of the hairpin, and I think he's got the traction to get it done. Yes, Rafa just slotting in behind the Red Bull. So Fruitful has managed to clear Rafa now. Rafa will probably jump out of the way of his German teammates behind. And yeah, there we go. Rafa moving over line, Vasta and Jonathan through. So good German teamwork there between those three. As Rafa actually, yeah, he's into the pits. So Rafa into the pits now for what should be a front wing change and a fresh set of the hard compound tyres. As we are on board with Jonathan, as he is closing up on Fruitful with DRS. He's going to go to the outside of the hairpin, and a little bit of ghosting going on between them, and Jonathan has managed to get through there. So there is a connection issue between them at the moment, as we just saw a little bit of a change in position between Onyx and Just As for what is 13th position, but Jonathan getting through on Fruitful, and now it is up to Vasta to try and follow through. Meanwhile, towards the front, Thomas and KJ, it's all good in their world at the moment. As Jonathan actually sets the fastest lap, so showing his pace now as Vasta picks up a 3-second time penalty. And that's going to be the thing in this race. It is so easy to pick up a 3-second time penalty here through turn 1. We're going to go on board with the Renault as, yeah, look at the overspeed he's getting with DRS into the hairpin. Down the inside he'll go. Is the McLaren going to try to get the switch back? He has had a little attempt at it, but it hasn't worked out too well. Thomas now back into the lead, and Jonathan closing up on Forbes. So the Scotsman is going to be under pressure from the German here in just a few laps. As Codemasters gives me the fantastic camera angle, as you would expect, but we'll persevere there. As Campbell actually closing up to Ash for 7th place. Fruitful picking up a 3-second time penalty. So as I said, very easy to pick up penalties here. And Forbes right now is going to be an absolute sitting duck, because here is the DRS and we'll see what the overspeed is like. And looks like Jonathan using it to save a bit of VRS. So this is smart work from the man in the Ferrari right now. Stick in the DRS, save the ERS. Campbell very close to the back of Ash, and there's a bit of ghosting once again, but down the inside goes Campbell. Difficult to tell if there's any contact between them because they were ghosting, but looks like Campbell gonna try around the outside. What a move there from QVR Campbell. They will be cheering that one from Glasgow to Edinburgh and all the way back to Inverness. They will be cheering for that move there from Campbell. As Jonathan closing in, and we could have a multiple move going on right now because KJ closing up on Thomas, but Jonathan's already passed Forbes. So Jonathan wasting absolutely no time getting past Forbes there on that DRS straight. And we're going to see as Campbell did manage to defend there against Ash, so he needs to try and pull away now. As we got Max and Cohen battling out for 10th place. Onyx and Just As still battling it out for 12th place. Rafa opting for a set of mediums, so obviously gonna try and stretch these mediums out and go on a set of hards towards the end. And he should be pretty decent towards the end of the race, because he will have fresher compound tyres. KJ looked like he just had a bit of a snap there on the exit of turn 1, and that's going to be the issue for these guys. When your tyres are getting worn, it is so much easier just to get that snap in turn 1. It makes the car very unstable, very off balance, and that could mean the difference between keeping alive in this race or spinning out. So these guys will have to manage how they approach turn 1, as we got Cohen getting past Max with DRS down into the hairpin. So Cohen making some moves, as we got Rafa getting past Riker for 14th place, and up the road now he wants to try to catch up to Onyx, who is all over the back of Just As for 12th position. But we're going to go back up towards the front, and it looks like Jonathan is closing in on KJ. Meanwhile, Thomas, since a little bit of a snap from KJ, has managed to keep and maintain that 1 point. It was a 1.2 second gap, but he's managed to extend it by a tenth or two. But he is keeping KJ honest right now. And it looks like Ash is doing a very clever thing right now. Look at the amount of ERS he has compared to Campbell. Let's have a look at towards the top end. How is the ERS management? Thomas doing fantastic right now on 50%. Jonathan struggling with only around 20% there. But Fruitful and Vasta looking in a very good position right now with the amount of ERS they have managed to save behind these guys ahead. So we'll go on board with the Mercedes right now, just to see what he's doing in terms of ERS on this back straight. Is he really using it, or is he just kind of chilling with it? I think he's being very smart in how he is using it, and if you're not going to make the overtake, there's no point in wasting ERS. But that's only going to be a matter of time, as we got Onyx and Just As changing positions there. We have a freeway scrap going on right now. Mr. Skyzy, Cohen and Max. As we are on board with Max, this is the closest battle that we have right now, as we got the first pit stoppers coming into the pits right now, and that is Fruitful and KJ. And Campbell following in behind, as well as Skyzy going very, very wide, and that is giving Cohen a chance to go down the inside. And he's gonna be now under pressure by here, because he will not have DRS, and Cohen could be losing a position here rather than gaining one. They're going to be 3 wide into the hairpin. Max getting the double overtake there, and Cohen holding on to 7th place. Skyzy losing 2 spots instead of just gaining past, but he's going to try it down the inside of Cohen there, and that is just not going to work, and he picks up a 3-second time penalty for exceeding the track limits there. But these two battling is allowing Max just to build that gap, as now we got Forbes and Vasta Racer into the pits. Thomas and Jonathan have continued on, so I'll be interested to see where these guys come out relative to Fruitful, and how big is the undercut here. So Fruitful, he has managed to jump ahead of Forbes, but it's not by a huge amount. Of course, the gap between KJ and Thomas is one that we want to keep an eye on, as well as we're interested to see where Jonathan is going to come out relative to Fruitful, Forbes, and, well, Vasta, who has actually been overtaken by Onyx. So Onyx getting past Vasta there, and a little bit of lag going on as they were ghosting there between Forbes and Onyx into the hairpin. So hopefully they know exactly where each other is on their screen. As now we got our race leader into the pits, and now we're going to see as KJ around the final corner. He's just going to get ahead of Jonathan, and Jonathan is going to lose a spot to Fruitful there. So Fruitful getting the undercut on Jonathan, and it's the thing, the hards, they need a lap or two just to warm up, just to get into that zone, and this could be an opportunity for Forbes, for Vasta, who is looking to try and get past Onyx. He's just having a little bit of a sniff around there of the man in the McLaren. And Thomas already making short work of the traffic ahead, already past Mr. Skyzy for 4th on track, and Forbes has actually dropped down 2 positions. I hope no contact there was made between him and Onyx, or oh no, it's Forbes is off into the wall, and that is his front wing completely gone. Oh no. Forbes just getting out too wide there onto the gravel, and that is him into the wall. It's heartbreaking for the Scotsman. But right now we do have a bit of a train going on, as we got Fruitful leading this train, but he is almost within DRS of KJ ahead. But Onyx and Vasta side by side. We're going to see how they navigate here. Onyx going to try and stick it down the inside. Just enough room being left by both, and that is good clean racing there between Onyx and Vasta Racer, the 2 VSR members, but opponents here today. So we're going to go back up, as it looks like Thomas closing up to Max for what is 2nd on track, but we already know that Thomas is already in the race leaders. He has already made his one and only pit stop here. And the unfortunate thing for KJ is that he still has to get past Max, Cohen and Skyzy. But there we go, Thomas up into second here as Jonathan and Fruitful side by side on the exit of the hairpin. So here we go. So you go side by side, wheel to wheel. Down the inside goes the Red Bull, and the switchback there from the Ferrari. The cut back underneath, a little bit of a lag going on there, and Jonathan looks like he's just got a nose ahead and will get that spot. It's the Red Bull running quite wide there on the exit, and that's not what you want to do. We just saw what happened with Forbes if you get out just a bit too wide there. As KJ, he's got to try and start carving his way through this field ASAP, and he's going to have a little look down the inside, and he sent it. A little bit of contact there perhaps, but KJ is able to straighten up the car quicker, and it doesn't matter if you've got DRS. If a car is that close to you behind in the slipstream, he's going to be gaining time on you. And down the inside goes the McLaren into the hairpin, and he should be able to pull it off. Yes, he does. And I have a feeling that Cohen will probably just jump out of the way of KJ here to not impede him. As Fruitful, Jonathan, Vasta, Onyx and Rafa, who's been going about his race pretty quietly, as predicted, Cohen jumping out of the way there of KJ. But Rafa, after that very early pit stop due to front wing damage caused on lap 1, we saw a bit of carbon fibre flying off in turn 1. It did belong to the Ferrari, and he's having a pretty decent recovery right now. Of course, he will have to make another pit stop, which should drop him back down behind the field. But oh, it's faster down the inside of Fruitful there as we jump on board with Onyx. I was just about to say, he is going to be racing the likes of Onyx and Cohen and Mr. Skyzy. He should be trying to hunt down Max and maybe even Ash, as Jonathan down the inside of Skyzy, as we got Faster Racer looking for that switchback on Fruitful but doesn't get it done. And now the Ferrari has got past the Alfa Romeo. Once again, a little bit of ghosting going on as Vasta squeezing out there the Red Bull in the background, as you may have saw. But Jonathan picking up a 3-second time penalty. That's not going to be helping his causes towards the end of this race, but he is in a net P3 right now. As Rafa now into the pits, and this should be for a set of the hard compound tyres just to get to the end of the race. As we got this big old train going on, and I'm loving every second of this train. All aboard, because now we're getting some moves made as Jonathan gets past Klaus there, as KJ gets past Max, but he has a lot of work to do. As oh, Skyzy, a little bit of contact there with Jonathan, and Cohen's going to try and have a little look around the outside. He's going to be able to make a stick. No, he's going to stick behind, but here comes the Mercedes down the inside. Oof, very close between the two of them. Oh, a little bit of contact there, and the Red Bull's in a little bit of a half spin, but he's managed to hold on to it. He's only lost positions and time, but he is lucky not to lose any more than that, is Cohen. As we got the hard compound runners now coming into the pits. So Max, Skyzy, Onyx and Cohen into the pits, and Fruitful picking up a 3-second time penalty, and that's going to be bad in the long run. Now the gap between Max and Campbell is going to be interesting. Rafa picking up a second time penalty, but does get the jump on Cohen, on Onyx. So he is now up into a net. Oh, he's into a net P10 because we still have Just As to pit along with Ash Best, who has lost the race lead to Thomas. So we're expecting these guys to start dropping down the order soon, as Rafa around the outside of Skyzy for 10th place. So Rafa, even though with that early pit stop, he is on a comeback drive here. And if he can keep with Max, they're gonna eventually start closing in on Campbell, and they would get the position of Just As, because he will drop through the order with this pit stop. Ash could be a problem for him because he should come out ahead of them, and we'll see as Max, yeah, Max is going to be well behind Ash there, but Rafa setting the fastest lap of the race, and he's really going for it. And as I said, penalties could make all the difference here. We've seen people picking up penalties left, right and centre as Onyx gets past Just As. Forbes with a 3-second time penalty. I mean, for Orbs Sparks, it's been a race to forget. They had their incidents and their front wing changes, and they've been relatively out of the race, but you know, they're trying their best to keep going to gain something out of this race to take into next week. But Rafa down the inside of Mr. Skyzy, and will get that move done. So Rafa on a charge right now. Okay, so just to give you guys a bit of an idea on which nation is looking like they're going to be in the best spot. I mean, right now it does appear that the Netherlands may take more. Actually, no, never mind. Faster Racer getting past Fruitful there. I mean, looks like the Germans will probably squeeze a few more points than the Netherlands here today, just for the fact that Rafa is ahead of both Onyx and Cohen. Actually, to be honest, I don't even know, because there's only 3 guys here from the German team, so maybe that 4th guy for the Netherlands could really help them here. As KJ picks up a 3-second time penalty, he is under pressure right now from the Ferrari of Jonathan, as he's close enough. He has the superior ERS advantage here, and there is a bit of lag going on, but we'll try to ignore it. Down the inside he'll go into the hairpin, and that's job done. Meanwhile, behind, Fruitful sending the move on Vasta. Vasta again, the switchback. Oh, does he manage to get the traction down? No, he doesn't. So Fruitful does stick ahead, but oh, a little bit of lag once again going on. So a little bit of a lock up there from Vasta. And then we got this duel going on between Just As and Onyx. It has resumed, and it is still for 12th place. These two are loving a battle around here. We got this freeway scrap going on between Rafa, Skyzy and Cohen for what is 9th place. And they're not too far behind Max, and here's the thing, the hards will become the better tyre before the end of the race, so Rafa could very well come back at Max, and Now we have Ash all over the back of Campbell for 6th place, so we'll stay on board with this as, yeah, Campbell does not have the ERS. And here goes Ash down the inside. And he should be able to get that move done, but no, Campbell's going to try and stick it around the outside. They're still side by side. So Campbell going to try and hold it down the inside, but just does not have the grip to break later than Ash there. And that is move done and dusted there for Ash, as we got Rafa being squeezed out by the Alfa Romeo, now under pressure from the Red Bull. And this is important. Rafa needs to try and keep Cohen behind, but Cohen's going to try it around the outside. This would be an insane move if he could pull it off, but no, he tucks in behind the Ferrari. And they will hold station for now. Forbes picks up another 3-second time penalty, but back up towards the front. KJ all over the back of Jonathan for 2nd place here. A little bit of lag there from the Ferrari, but down the inside, little bit of contact made between them, and looking for the switch back is the Ferrari, but gets a bit of a tank slap on, and that is gonna open things up for Fruitful to get right on the back of these two. And now we have a 4-way scrap for 2nd place here, as we got the 2 Germans versus the 2 Dutches, the 2 Dutchies, the 2 guys from the Netherlands. And this is going to be a battle. This is going to be a battle, and I would love to know what you guys are thinking right now in the chatters. As I should also say that right now, I believe it has just kicked off. We also have the other semi-final stage being commentated over by Daka and Cookie, and they are commentating on the second half of the semi-finals with those who advance from Group C and Group D. So make sure you go on over to say hello, show some love, and to support the guys racing over there, as Jonathan gets back through on KJ for 2nd place. And this is going to be an absolute battle between these 4 guys, as Rafa once again gets past Skyzy, but back up towards the front we have KJ going a little bit, a little bit of contact there, but between Fruitful and Jonathan, and oh no, that could be something that's going into the stewards. Ash will continue through, Campbell will continue through, and Vasta and Fruitful there making I believe Vasta got caught up in it, but has he got front wing damage? No, he appears to have got away without any front wing issue at all, but it did really slow up Vasta to such a degree that Ash has managed to get past him. But Fruitful into the back of Jonathan, I think it was, and Jonathan just goes straight off track as Vasta getting back past Ash for 3rd place, and around the outside will go Ash on the better compound tyre for this moment in the race, and that could be that instant could be absolutely crucial. Oof, need to catch my breath. So Jonathan now all the way down in 15th place. He's opted for a set of the soft compound tyre, so I'm just assuming he's going for fastest lap. Forbes and Sparks swapping positions there at the tail end of the points. We got this 3-way battle between Skyzy, Onyx Actually, it's a four-way battle, Cohen and Just As. And this is for 9th place, so as we got side by side there between Cohen and Just As there for 11th place. Onyx should be able to get this move done with DRS. What about the Renault versus the Red Bull down the inside? Oh, he's got to get slowed down in time before going at the back of Skyzy, and he just manages to do it. So good job there from the Renault. Forbes and Spark still having a bit of a battle here. So we'll give them a little bit of screen time. Since they've had their instance towards the start of the race, they haven't had too much. But it's good to see that even though the race hasn't been great for them, they're still enjoying a good old battle. Meanwhile, back up towards the front, Ash with DRS. He is going to close in on Faster and should be the move into the hairpin, and yeah, he gets it done. No worries, as we got Fruitful all over the back of Campbell, who is doing a great job for Scotland right now, is QVR Campbell. We got Jonathan set in the fastest lap of the race, and there's going to be some words between the Netherlands and the Germans after this race, I can guarantee you. As once again, Sparks and Forbes, they are loving this little bit of a ding-dong of a battle that's going on back here. So we're going to go back up, and Onyx now has got in that DRS of Rafa, so this is where we're going to see can Rafa keep Onyx behind, as it looks like Klaus has gone off at the hairpin to let everyone through. Oh, he's just doing donuts. He's doing donuts for the German fans out there. As once again, Forbes and Sparks swapping positions, and again. Now, I don't understand what Jonathan is doing right there, because he did have an opportunity to bring home a point for Germany, which is better than nothing. I mean, take the point, lad. You never know where that point could matter. And he is still at the hairpin, and well, I mean, you hate to see it when people, you know, think the race is over and then, you know, they don't want to continue on. But Rafa and Onyx side by side now, this is important for the championship. But yeah, Jonathan had a chance to bring home at least 1 point for the German team, and he's kind of just let that go by just doing donuts for the fans here at Hockenheim. But once again, the Williams and the Haas, the two Scotsmen of Sparks and Forbes, just having a bit of a battle in their own world. So on lap 32 of 34. As it stands, it looks like the Netherlands would be your big winner this year, as Jonathan has retired from the session, so he's obviously not going to be too happy with this, but he definitely could have bought him a point for the German side. As I'm just going to quickly check what's going on. So actually this could be very close actually, as the Lithuanian team, consisting of Thomas, Ash, Just As and Riker, all four are in the points right now, and it's a double podium from as it stands. But Vasta Racer, he is going to be trying to break up that double podium there for the Lithuanian lads. And of course, you're the French team of the Racing Points and Alfa Romeos. They aren't really I think the Racing Point and Alfa Romeo team, represented by the French squad here, I think they're going to be towards the back end of the points. In fact, I think they would technically be last because of this man right here, QVR Campbell, who is up ahead of them all. And the three Scotsmen are going to pick up points here. But yeah, as is looking at the moment, guys, it is looking like it's going to be very close between Lithuania and the Netherlands. I think Germany should have third place. They should do at least. They should have third place, but they won't be too far ahead of Scotland. And then you would have France's second squad there. Last at the moment. Of course, we don't know. With the penalty situation, everything could change around so rapidly. But look at this train, as we missed Thomas coming across the line, so Thomas picks up the win here. KJ is going to come home in second place. Will he stay there? As Ash gets up into second. Vasta will get fourth place. He isn't able to jump, as oh my god, Onyx up into fifth, Campbell into sixth, and just like that, Fruitful from fifth all the way down to ninth. And that has really shaken things up to the core here, as a Lithuanian 1-2. And oof, this is going to be very, very interesting now. I gotta work this out. I think Lithuania still technically would be ahead. I'm not sure though. Like I said, it's going to be very close between the Netherlands and Lithuania at the end of this race by these results, but there could be stewards' inquiries after this race. But what a race these guys have treated us to. Very close racing, and that man on the top step of the podium, he has driven fantastic this entire race and has had minimum issues. He got through the traffic after his pit stop when he needed to, and he just wasn't under any pressure after that. So a massive congratulations to Thomas there, who has managed to pick up the race win. And here we have it. Thomas is your race winner, ahead of Ash Best in second. Lithuania 1-2 right there. Then we have the Netherlands with KJ rounding out the podium. Then Vasta, the first of the Germans, in fourth. Onyx, a good showing for the Netherlands, in fifth. Campbell, the highest point scoring Scots lad, right there, in sixth. Max in seventh. Rafa in eighth. Fruitful in ninth. Just as in 10th. Cohen in 11th. Mr. Skyzy in 12th. Then we got Sparks and Forbes, who had their own great battle towards the back for 13th and 14th. And then Riker rounds out the final point paying position. Then we had Klaus and T1000 Zach, who unfortunately wasn't able to finish the race. And that wraps up the first race of round 2, the semi-finals. And now I urge everyone to go on over to check out the other round 2 races going on right now live on the channel. The Group C and D lads coming together right now for that second round. But until next week, guys, I hope you have a good one, and yep, until next week.